Welcome to our December's edition of Beautiful Game PW Talk. I'm much more organised today. I've made a list again like I did a couple of editions ago. I'm going to start off with mostly sport, football and other sport related matters, then move on to wrestling and then finish off with a couple of off topic things. A lot of discussion points to get through today, so there should be a lot more material than there was last time. First off is football, a couple of things from Blaze, and that's about the first things about the January transfer window. Blaze has asked me who do I think is going to be the hottest additions to teams in January, any surprise moves. There's a couple of moves that's been named today, speculated. Bart at Chelsea's came out of the blue. Everyone thought he was going to go to Arsenal, myself included, but yeah, it looks like he's Chelsea bound. And Sturridge on the other end of that is going to Liverpool for about 5 million more than Bar's going to Chelsea. It's a bit mind blowing, considering Bar's got a much better record than Sturridge, but Liverpool's got a track record of overpaying for English talent, i.e. Carroll, Henderson, Downing. None of them set Anfield alight, so I fully expect Sturridge to be in the same vein. It's a bit of a poor move, but we'll see. Walcott could be a big mover. I think he'll end up signing a contract. He's getting played in centre of up front now, and he's suited there. He looks brilliant. He scored a hat-trick last night, and I think Wenger will do anything it takes to avoid losing yet another big player, and I think Walcott will sign a deal in January, which is, if you ask any Arsenal fan, if you ask anyone on the board who supports Arsenal, that's as good as a signing for them guys, Other than that, I mean, January is usually a really quiet month. I hope Sunderland have a bit of activity in the transfer window because it's needed. We need to bolster the squad. It's looking thin, but I think it'll be a quiet one. I don't think there'll be many moves in terms of surprise moves. I expect QPR to be busy. They need a miracle if they're going to stay up. So Harry Redknapp will be wheeling and dealing in the January transfer window. But I think they could give him 100 million. I don't think they'll save them at the minute. They just look so terrible. The Champions League draw was made a couple of weeks ago now, about a week and a half ago. Some absolutely beautiful ties there. Bit of an understatement, I can't wait. Arsenal Bayern will be tasty. Bayern's got great European pedigree, great record in recent years. Obviously, the tie of the tournament is United and Real Madrid. That should be absolutely fantastic. I think Real will have too much for Madrid to handle. Real will have too much for Man United to handle. Sorry. I know Real have been poor domestically this season. It's a bit of an understatement. They've been absolutely dreadful. But I think the European Cup's the big one. And if Mourinho is still at the club, I think he will be still there February. I think he'll sweep aside Man United. I expect a lot of goals in that tie, especially at Old Trafford. I think Man United will go for it at Old Trafford. Fergie will try and shut up shop at the Bernabeu. But it should be an interesting tie. You've got Rooney and Van Persie on one side. Man United will also have the likes of Kagawa back by then. But Real has got Modric, Ronaldo, obviously Ozil. So much attacking threats at their disposal, and given the names on show, you'd expect plenty goals. So I hope that's the case. Given both United and Madrid's defences this season, you'd expect that would be the case as well. So it'll have to be seen. I've also been asked for my top sporting moments of 2012. More they didn't really involve football so much, other than I think Euro 2012 as a tournament was a bit, I couldn't get into it this year. It was a bit lacklustre for my likes. I enjoyed the performances of Andrea Pirlo. He's a favourite of mine, and I thought he was splendid to watch. But other than that, Spain never got going until the final. England disappointed again. It was one of them tournaments that passed by, but I fully expect Rio in 2014 to be fantastic. You'll have Messi leading Argentina. You'll have the Brazilians playing on our home turf. Then you'll have Spain trying to go for 4 in a row. So there's plenty of to look forward to for the next World Cup. But 2012 for football wasn't too good. I mean, you had Chelsea winning the Champions League, which was fucking, everyone hates Terry and Chelsea, so that was a bit of a non-story. So yeah, hopefully 2013 is a better year for football. But 2012 for sport was brilliant. The Olympics, I'm not going into it too much, but everyone knows full well how brilliant the Olympics was for this country. I went into it, I think a lot of people admit they went into it not too fussed, but it left such a legacy, and that was the aim for it, to leave a legacy. It definitely made many heroes. You seen Bradley Wiggins was knighted. It was great. Another person who featured in the Olympics and was my favourite sportsman of the year was Andy Murray. He won the gold at the Olympics, and he did well to bounce back after disappointingly losing to Roger Federer at the All England final at Wimbledon. And he went from strength to strength there. The US Open, what a final. I remember staying up till stupid o'clock. I think it was about 3 in the morning. And I had to be up dead early in the morning, but I was insistent I was going to stop up and watch it. It was such a great match. Murray raced ahead, 2 sets to lead. Djokovic worked his way back in the match, relentless as ever, and got it to 2-2. And I was thinking, no, Andy, you've done it again. So far, so near again. But Murray held on, and he finally won that first Grand Slam. It was such a great night. I remember texting a friend while it was on, and we were just, unbelievable scenes. I remember the thread in the Wide World Sports section was a lot of fun. Froggy stayed away from the internet all night. I mean, a lot of good discussion was going on PW that night, and it was just great to see Andy finally do it, finally win the big one. I think all it missed was John Comrie to sum it up. The boyhood dream has been realised. I think that's all we needed for that moment to be absolutely perfect. But it was brilliant to see Andy win it, and I'm fully expecting Andy to win something again in 2013, which would be great. Next up was a question by Froggy, and it was about Adel Taarabt, who recently voiced that he'd be delighted to be called up by Morocco for the African Cup of Nations in January, and would be willing to leave QPR in their relegation battle for it. When that question was asked, Taarabt was still hopeful of a call up, but I think in recent days it's been confirmed that he won't be getting called up. But to answer the question, it's the old club versus country row. It always pops up now and then, doesn't it? If I was a football player in the Premier League, which I'm not because I'm awful, I would personally choose club over country every time, especially in a case like Taarabt's where his team's struggling right at the foot of the table. But that may be because I'm not very patriotic. I can't speak for Taarabt himself, but yeah, if that was me, I'd go for the club. The club should come first, in my opinion. Speaking of Taarabt and QPR, I've been asked which 3 teams do I think will go down. I've been asked that by 2 posters actually. QPR dead certs now. There's only ever been West Brom that have stayed up after being bottom at New Year's Day. Was the stat at the end of the year? Sorry, was the stat I read earlier. QPR also the 15th team to have 10 points or below at this stage of the season, and all the previous teams have gone down. So the stats are against them. And yes, granted they've got Harry Redknapp, and people remember his great escape with Pompey. But often people forget he struggled with Southampton, who he relegated. So I think Redknapp's in too much. He's in too deep at the minute. But I'm sure Harry will not be too fussed. I mean, he's already had a go at all the players who's there for paychecks, but I can't imagine Harry being too surplus that they're going to be relegated when he sees a nice big fuck off cheque arrive in his nice mansion in Hampshire, you know. So I can't see Redknapp being a championship manager next year, so you know, it's all about the money in my opinion. And QPR, you know, I worry for their fans because the amount of money that they have spent on players, on player wages, on agent fees, and given the fact that they get, you know, 17,000 attendees a week, that's not a lot at all, you know. That's not going to cover the wages for them players, not in the slightest. So I'd be worried. You know, you've seen what happened to Portsmouth. You know, Portsmouth, they went nearly bust for what? For winning the FA Cup, which is a great achievement. And QPR gonna near being bust for lingering around the relegation area in the Premier League. So it's just, you know, something needs to be done. They are in dire straits at the minute, and things could only get worse if you ask me for them. Another question by Froggy was my thoughts on Sports Personality of the Year. I thought it was a tremendous show. You know, I only watched the second half of it as I missed the first half, but it was great. You know, I love the fact that we've got an award, a series of awards that recognise the great sporting achievements of sportsmen in this, you know, in this nation. I thought the things with Mwamba, you know, when Mwamba came on stage, that was a great touch. That was lovely. I think Wiggins deserved it overall. I was glad Merry got recognised, but you know, you could argue that second might be a little too high. Although, granted, he was the first British player to win a Grand Slam in 70 plus years. But I thought Mo Farah should have been recognised a little bit more than he did, as he, you know. But it was one of them years. There's been years where fucking people have done not a lot but got it, and then this year there's, you know, nearly a dozen good candidates to win it. So it just goes to show how great a 2012 sport has had. And to back up my original point, not one footballer was nominated. So you know, it's been a great year for sport. Not football so much, but sport, yes, definitely. Couple of questions about Sunderland. Do I think Martin O'Neill's the right man for Sunderland? Definitely, without a doubt. I think if you ask the vast majority of Sunderland fans, they will agree that Martin O'Neill is the man for Sunderland. You know, support him as a boy. His tenure so far has been so-so. I agree, but I think he's got the passion. He understands the club. He understands the fans, the area. So Martin O'Neill's the right man for me. And I mean, if O'Neill was to go, who would we replace him with? You know, I mean, fucking Mark Hughes, no thanks. Steve Keane, no thanks. You know, I think we should just, you know, stick with Martin, persevere. And he's dragged us out of the mire a bit in recent weeks. The win against Southampton and the win against Man City was great. So I think we've got to be patient and sort of realise we're quite lucky. You know, you look at what's happening with Blackburn and Notts Forest division below us. If it wasn't for Niall Quinn, that could have easily been Sunderland Association Football Club. So, you know, I think fans need to get off the high horses a little and realise that things could have been a hell of a lot worse. Another question that was by GX Streamer, I believe. That was about Connor Wickham and whether I think Connor Wickham will make it at Sunderland. I think Connor will make it. You know, he definitely deserves a chance. He's featured in recent weeks quite a bit. He's looked a lot stronger. He's looked a lot, you know, leaner, in better shape, and he's also looked very good. He's impressed me a lot holding the ball up. Without doubt, he's been fantastic holding the ball up. He's looked a real threat. My only wish is he get more of a chance. You know, he hasn't scored so many goals, but give him a chance and he can correct that. I hope he makes that at Sunderland. He's definitely got a lot of talent. And I think he's got the right attitude as well. He's been working hard in training, I've heard. So I hope he gets his chance, definitely. was also asked, would I love to see, who would I love to see, who do I see replacing Wenger if Wenger was to leave Arsenal, realistically? Realistically, someone like Ancelotti. But excuse me, I'm going to make a text. Sorry. Realistically, Ancelotti, but this is ignorant, I know. Realistically, Ancelotti, yeah, but I'd love to see someone like Mourinho or Guardiola there. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to see them at Arsenal. I think they'd be great for the league if they won the league. And I'd love to see them take on a challenge at a club like Arsenal, get a bit. But yeah, but lost track of what I was about to say now, but I'm going to continue. The show must go on. Ancelotti is realistic. Someone like David Moyes, I'd love to see take the top job at Arsenal, but you never know. I think they should stick with Wenger for the time being. It must be frustrating for Arsenal fans not winning trophies, but like I said with O'Neill, sometimes the option that's currently there is a lot better than the options available. Put it that way. My thoughts on Cole and Lampard, whether Chelsea should keep them. Absolutely, they should absolutely keep them there. You look at Man United with the likes of Scholes and Giggs, who's done well for years there. And to answer two questions with one answer, I think Scholes and Giggs are nearing the time now at Man United, and should be looking to fade out towards the end of the season. But Cole and Lampard's 4 or 5 years younger. They've got a lot to offer. Lampard, as you're saying, he's scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. Cole's still one of the finest left backs there is in the league. Sorry, the league. So yeah, they should keep both guys there, in my opinion. I think the under 30 rule they're trying to enforce is a load of shit. You need experienced players. Players who know Chelsea inside and out, and them too know Chelsea inside and out. My tips for the playoff places in the Championship. Well, first of all, I think Cardiff and Leicester both go up automatically. Cardiff have got quite a lead at the top. I think Leicester will push on and they've got quality, and they might also acquire a few people in the window. As for the playoffs, I think there'll be Palace, who's got Holloway, who knows the league inside and out. I think Borough, Hull and Leeds will also be there. They're around about at the minute. I'd like to see them 3 in there because of the northern teams. All 3 will be good away days next season. I think another dark horse that might make a late surge is Ipswich. They've been alright since Mick McCarthy's taken over, so I could see them making having a good second half of the season and just making a late surge. A couple of questions are Man United. I think Rio Ferdinand, he should still be kept at Man United. I think he's very useful, he's experienced, he'll help out the young defenders like Smalling, Evans, Jones. He's not quite past it yet. I think another year or 2 at Man United would be best for all parties. As for Ronaldo's chances of returning to Man United, I think it won't happen within the next season too. It's a long shot given the money that will require to take him away. But down the line, I think he could return for a swan song. Definitely. Sunderland and Newcastle still in relegation trouble, without a doubt. We're up there. We're still in trouble. We're not clear of it yet, both teams, but both teams have got the experience and quality to get out of it. I think January will be an important month, both in the league and as far as signings go for both teams. Hopefully both teams avoid getting trapped in it, and maybe mid-table mediocrity is the best we can hope for, but that's better than a relegation dogfight, believe you me. Back to Martin O'Neill, will he still be in charge at the end of the season? Yes. Ellis Short's not want to hit the panic button, and I think Martin will still be very much with us for the start of next season, definitely. I've made a list of underrated players upon the request of players. I've got quite a few here. I thought I'd start with Sunderland. Firstly, Catmull, Colback and Mignolet as far as Sunderland go. I think Colback and Catmull are 2 good players who don't get a lot a lot of attention. Captain Will gets attention for the wrong reasons, but he's calmed down his game since O'Neill's came in. He's improved a lot. Colback's a very tidy player, very smart. I don't know how he's not near the England reckoning yet, given the fact we've called up players like Jake Livermore and Lallana. No disrespect, but Colback's more deserving than both men. Mignolet, he's overrated by me probably, as I've banged on about him on the board for so long, but by the rest of the league he's definitely underrated. He's one of the best on one-on-one scenarios I've seen in my time watching football, and he's only got to go from strength to strength. Other players I've listed are Leon Osman. Froggy will agree with me there. Colaccini at Newcastle is quite underrated, I think. Other players like Brunton Morrison at West Brom, Hughes at Fulham, Jody Gomez, Al Habsi, I think they're quite underrated. McCarthy also at Wigan. Begovic is underrated despite the great season he's had at Stoke. Leon Britton's one at Swansea. I think big teams. Zabaleta is underrated, I think. Johnny Evans. Both don't get the press they should. I think both good players. I also listed Diarmi for West Ham. I mean, he's starting to get more attention now, but last season he was definitely underrated, and towards the start of this season he was as well. One more. I also had Sandro at Spurs, who's in my team, my fantasy team, in the competition we're currently doing. So take a look at that. Cheap plug. I think Sandro, he played yesterday, is a brilliant player. Very good defensively. I think he doesn't get the press he deserves. Very good player. Right, that's all the stuff as far as sport goes. I'll try and quickly get through this as I've got some food waiting for me. Sorry to be so fat, but I'm quite hungry. Wrestling, what do I expect to happen at WrestleMania? Well, hopefully I'll be watching it with the rest of the TBG guys at Brezzi's. That'll be fun. I think it'll be a solid card. A lot of criticism's been given towards the WWE going into it. I think we'll get Punk Taker, which will steal the show. I think Cena's given to win the WWE title, but I won't complain at that. I think that would be deserved. And for the record, I think Cena will win the Rumble. He's my pick for the Rumble. I also think he's a deserved winner of the Rumble. It'd be nice to see the Rumble winner actually being given a match at Simply Shares to open shows in recent years, which I just don't agree with. I'm losing my voice now. I think Triple H and Lesnar will surprise people. It'll be a good match. People will complain about it similar to how they did about Triple H and Taker last year, but I think people will be happy with it after the event. I also think the Shield will impress and make a name for themselves even more at the show. But yeah, I'm just hoping for a good WrestleMania, a lot of good wrestling and some fun to be had, really. Alright, just wrapping things up, some off-topic questions. I'm sorry I've rushed the second half of this before we continue, but there'll be plenty more in 2013 PW Talks. Hopefully we'll expand a little. I'll try something different in 2013, but did I buy the Justice for the 96 album? Yeah, I did. As you can see, I haven't even bothered to get it out of the packing. I bought it purely because I thought it was a nice thing to do, it's all for a good cause. I haven't really listened to it yet, but I will listen to it one day. But it's for a good cause, and I think James Arthur's a smuggy prick. So I was glad to see him get knocked off number 1. Just ending things with a question from Gaza. Who's my favourite character from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? I don't think you can beat OG Locke. Brilliant, one of the best ever characters from any GTA period. And I also really like Laszlo, who's on the radio. He's on every single GTA as a radio broadcaster. I think Laszlo's hilarious. I've got an app called GTA Radio, which I recommend for anyone who has an Android phone. Brilliant listening, and yeah, he's my other favourite GTA guy. But yeah, that was all for me today. Like I said, I apologise for it being rushed. It's not professional, but the show was never meant to be professional. But this is the last PW Talk of 2012. I'll be back with one next month. I hope everyone's had a great Christmas, and everyone gets shit-faced tomorrow night for New Year. Right, thanks guys.